I'll start it off by saying I wouldn't pay for that.
You know what? I will say this, man. It was a lot more of a fight than I was expecting. I think a lot of people thought Logan Paul was going to get knocked out. First round, Logan Paul goes the distance. That's extremely surprising. What do you think about that?
Mayweather's old.
Mayweather is old. And you know what? You've been saying for a while, Mayweather may not have the knockout power. It's kind of hard to argue against that after this fight,
He hasn't had knockout power since he was 30, so 14 years ago.
It sure seems like it. After this fight, Mayweather didn't get the job done, went the distance, and no winner was declared. Funny how that works.
Did you see the size of the mitts, though? They were the same size as Mayweather's head. Like, those were pillows.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, what a joke.
I will say this, that Logan Paul doing a lot of hitting, in the earlier rounds. The later the fight went, the more Logan Paul was like grabbing and holding him and making Mayweather try to hold him up. But early on, Logan Paul was doing a lot of punching, and I didn't see a whole lot of power behind it. It was a lot of like do. Not
that's all they're good for. Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, he literally knocked out a former NBA player. Like his last fight. Dude, he's got nothing. Logan Paul's got nothing. He should go to that. He should go to that Japanese area where he got banned from TikTok and help himself out. Fuck.
Actually, that was a YouTube video that he did, but yeah.
Yeah, that's where he should go back. We're done with him.
The one thing, do you have anything else to say about this fight? There's not much you can say. It was surprisingly long. It went 8 rounds, and
the announcers were amazing on how they just ripped him apart the whole time.
Yeah,
like little YouTube guy. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, that's all he is. He's just a YouTuber. Yeah. There's nothing good about him. I didn't know who he was. The wife knew who he was. And I obviously know the Paul brothers, but the wife's like, who's that guy? And then she's like, oh, this guy. And I was like, sure. I've never followed him on YouTube. I've never watched any of his videos. So
I knew who he was because of his little death.
That's it. Yeah.
Story that was all over the internet.
That's
how I heard of him. Yeah, good for him. One thing I'm going to say about this fight, hell of a way to build to a fight with his brother. I figure if Logan Paul, who is not a great boxer, the lesser in the skill category of the boxers can go the distance, perhaps it could build some doubt in the Jake Paul-Logan Paul fight that we all know is coming. It kind of makes me think it's a bit of a work. I honestly, when I think about it like that, it's like, yeah, seems a little suspicious when you really think about it.
I kind of agree with you. Take an old man who won't be able to knock you out. You get in the ring, you go the distance with him, and then Mayweather's probably got like a cash bonus in the back where if he goes the distance, my brother goes the distance, we'll give you an extra $5 million. And he just goes, oh. All right.
I don't know about the legality of all that, but I think that.
Well, dude, that's your own stupidity if you bet on that. Like, it wasn't an official bout, so nothing can be. When they take their fight, they did nothing wrong. It's a bout. It was a bout. It wasn't a fight. It was a bout. It was an exhibition bout. Yeah. So like anything goes, right? Like, fuck. I'm surprised the other idiot Paul didn't jump in the ring and make some type of spectacle out of it, which I thought he was going to.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but I know maybe not in terms of betting to go the distance, but I think that in terms of making money in the long term, like I said, there's going to be a lot more money in the Jake Paul fight with Floyd Mayweather if he creates a little bit of doubt, and that's what he did. Floyd's a businessman. He said he's in it for the entertainment value. This is not really going to count against his record, so why not let this guy go the distance, create a little bit of doubt, and then make a boatload of money when you beat up his brother?
Well, it's true, but I don't know if I want to take his brother on. His brother's hands are a bit more educated. He's got a little bit more power behind his punches. I don't know if I want to take that because in the first round, when Logan got him with a couple of good shots, and then he was like, "Oh fuck!" He's like, "Okay, hang on, he can actually punch." Like, he took a couple, and then Floyd's like, "I've been fucking around too long." And then as the fight, and a good thing about Mayweather, and they said like he's the best defensive like boxer, dude. Once he decided, he's like, "Fuck this." He's just like, he had his shoulder back and he was doing his typical like slide and jab and his counters and stuff. I'm like, you're done. The minute he is comfortable enough to give you that left shoulder and he comes in with his jab, you're done. There's nobody's beating that. I don't care who you are. You're not beating that. Even though you have big giraffe arms and you should have just been able to slap him in the face, Mayweather's not letting you do that.
Yeah, I did have a note My computer messed up, as we mentioned before, or as you and I mentioned before we went on the air. But I did make a note that first round, Jake Paul got in a really nice flurry at the end of the first round, and then you could see Floyd Mayweather kind of looking like, "Ooh, wow, that's pretty impressive." I feel like that might have been a little bit of theatrics. That to me feels like they're working the crowd here. That he gets a good flurry in at the end of the fight. Floyd trusts him enough that lets him punch him a couple times. He's got his hands up, and then he gets to go to his corner and go, "Ooh, wow, that was impressive. Maybe this guy's got a little more going on." Then it builds.
Yeah, it's true, but I also think that Floyd's a vet, right? So you see them when Logan's clinching, and then you see like the quick couple of body shots, just to and then you see him kind of bend over, and then between rounds, he's like, "I can't sit, my ribs are fucked." I guarantee Mayweather fucked up his ribs. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I mean. Like he's an old vet now. We can call him an old vet, where he just kind of gets in and then gives you the shots where you don't think of doing shots. You're like, "Oh, that looked like it hurt." So those little bastards you don't expect to hit you in the ribs that just take your fucking whole, just change your whole fucking perspective on the fight, right?
Well, absolutely. And I'm not a huge boxing fan. I've seen enough Floyd Mayweather. What I've seen is he likes to sort of drag his opponent into the deep water, and then they don't have enough energy to swim back to shore, and that's when he sinks them. And that's what it looked like he was doing early on. And Logan Paul, I will give him credit. He made him carry his weight to tire him out, and some good strategies on both guys. So
Logan Paul coming at the end of the fight saying he wants round 2 or to fight Mayweather Paul 2. I said if I was a Paul brother and I was really going to make some money, I'd go Tyson. Okay. But I would go because Tyson's 55, but I mean, he's still got punching power. But if you can hold 8 rounds with Floyd, I might try and go 5 with Tyson.
You got an interesting point because there's a lot of these big name guys out in the mix that they're more in it for the entertainment value, more in it to get a big payday. They're not necessarily as interested in their win-loss record at this point. A lot of these fights you'll hear don't count to their win-loss record, which is a silly sort of thing, but they keep saying it. And there's a lot of guys out there in the mix. The Paul brothers could be, who knows, maybe they could be working their way to a Tyson fight. That'd be really cool, actually.
Yeah, Tyson fighter Holyfield was there, so who knows?